Hello everyone, Sarp here, the main architecture tutor for polimitestprep. Today I am going to upload this really overdue video about the performance of polimitestprep in the 2024-25 academic year, or to be more specific, our performance during the Arched and TIL-A tests of July 22nd, 23rd, 24th, and if you took it in Italian, 25th. So we have a lot of good news. We had very good results this year compared to the 30 students that got admitted to both schools in our joint efforts. This year we had a grand total of 75 students that got admitted to the English language architecture programs of Polimi and Polito, which we think is a phenomenal result. We're very proud of our students. And just to put that in perspective, that represents 27% of all students admitted into the English language architecture programs, bachelors of architecture programs of Polimi and Polito, or to put it this way, more than 1 out of 4 students who got admitted have prepared for the said tests with us. If you're being on this channel for the first time, just as a reminder, I would like to say who I am. Again, like I said, my name is Sarp. I have been admitted into Polimi in 2019. I scored the second highest test score on that test, and have done my bachelor's in Polimi. I've done my master's in Polimi. Finished school with a score of 110 out of 110. In Italy, scores are a bit weird. Your test scores are out of 30. Your overall graduation score is out of 110. I know it's a bit strange, but that's the way it is. And apart from that, I would like to do a brief analysis of the test scores of this year, because the test scores this year have shot up incredibly, especially those for Polimi. Just to go over the scores here now, they opened with a 43.75 for non-EU students for the Leonardo campus, and if I'm not mistaken, with a 40.75 for EU students for the Leonardo campus, which are phenomenally high scores. I mean, I would like to remind you that the test is out of 50, right? And these are incredibly high scores compared to last year. Both categories close with a 40 for the Leonardo campus. For Piacenza, the last non-EU student admitted got in with a 39.25, while for EU, the last score admitted to the Piacenza campus was 38.25, which, if we were to compare with prior years, which usually closes with a score around mid-30s, could be even lower 30s. In the prior past years, we've seen scores like 33, 34, 35, but nothing like this. So this year, the scores shot up a lot. I would like to also talk about that a little bit once I finish up with the Polito scores. With Polito, something very strange but kind of expected happened, which was that the non-EU score crashed, right? Because this was the first year that they went back to the in-person tests for non-EU. So that score crashed to a 28, while the EU score shot up from its last year closing score of 28, because last year was the first year that the EU exam had been returned to in person, and therefore what happened was kind of expected. What happened to non-EU this year happened exactly in the same way to EU last year. The EU score, on the other hand, opened with a quite high 36, although not as drastic of an increase like that happened with the Polimi test, with the Arched test, and it closed with a 33.75, which is where it usually closes if you think about it. My analysis of why the score shot up so high, well, after the tests and after all the students get admitted, I have a meetup with all the students that are admitted in Milan and Turin and also in Piacenza. And well, as far as I've been told, the test was quite easy, and that I can tell is the main reason why the score shot up so much. The test was, I think, quite easy compared to those tests that have been done 5 years ago. I mean, I can also tell from looking at the scores the students have been getting from past tests with our courses, and then the actual test score they got in the test of 2025, I can also see that the score shot up quite a bit. So, in my opinion, the main reason that that the test was quite easy compared to past years. And apart from that, the last thing I would like to say, or the last thing I would like to mention, is what can we expect from 2026? Well, I this is just a guess. I mean, there's no way to really predict these things in complete accuracy. But my guess is that the same thing is going to happen to the non-EU score. So it's going to go back up to where it's supposed to be. So it's not going to stay as low as 28 because that's a artificially low score, let's say, because the announcements are the announcements are made quite late. The call for applications is usually released late May, so around this time. Could be even early June when the test registrations open, and that's why people have, especially those people from the countries where they require a visa, right? So mostly non-EU students, they don't have enough time to adjust to the new reality. So that's what happened in 2025. But now that everyone knows what to expect, I'm expecting the non-EU score to bounce back up. The question is whether it's going to bounce back up above the EU score, which is what usually happens. Usually, non-EU scores close a bit higher up. Which means that it's a bit more difficult to get in if you're a non-EU student to both schools. But that being said, it's hard to predict if it's going to go above the EU score. It's going to remain below the EU score. I think that's something that we're going to see together this year. Anyways, thank you for sticking until the end of this video if you have. And yeah, hope to talk to you soon. And yeah, have a great day.